Assalamu alaikum students. Today we have lab number 5. Lab number 5 is divided into two activities, the activity number 19 and activity number 20. In this lab you are supposed to do two things. The first one is to study about MySQL Workbench and do practice something in the Workbench, and also study about the Northwind database. Northwind database is a sample database, and I refer this database in our most of the lectures. So we have already studied about the MySQL Workbench in our previous theory class, and now today you are supposed to practice this Workbench in your lab, so you can explore many things in MySQL Workbench tool by looking into our previous class, and also you can get details from the attached Word document. I have already attached a Word document with this lecture. You can find it, and here you will find lots of the information about this lecture. I have given the screenshots from Ubuntu operating system in this manual, and in the previous lecture the operating system was Windows 10. So both are somehow similar, and you can follow any of them to practice your lab in the MySQL Workbench. Now, in today's lecture, we will study one additional thing. Actually, this is not a part of our lab number 5 according to our lab manual, but we will use this database in our lectures. So I thought it would be better to study about Northwind database too in this lab. So now, introduction to Northwind database. The main objectives of this lecture is to know about the Northwind database. It is a sample database and used for practicing queries or for tutorials. We will import this database, and this database can be downloaded from internet, and also we will try to practice some queries at the end of this lecture. So the main contents are Northwind database itself. We will have an introduction about this database, then how can we get this database from internet, and how can this database be imported into MySQL Workbench, and at the end we will have some sample queries on this Workbench, this Northwind database in our MySQL Workbench. Northwind database is a sample database that was originally created by Microsoft and used as the basis for their tutorials in a variety of database products for decades. The Northwind database contains the sales data of a fictitious company called as Northwind Traders. Actually, there is no physical organization named as Northwind. This is a fictitious company. It is just used for tutorials. This database is used to show the imports and exports, especially of the foods from around the world. The Northwind database is an excellent tutorial used for small business ERP or for practicing small schema. In the Northwind database, we have following. We have data for following entities. We have suppliers and vendors of the Northwind, then customers who buy products from Northwind, employees, details of Northwind traders, then products information, shippers, the details of the shippers who ship the products from the traders to the end customers, and orders and orders details, sale order transactions taking place between the customer and the company. You can download this database from various sources. Just Google it and you will find lots of links available for this database. I have given a sample link for you. You can use this link to download the database. Here we have a link or a web page for downloading Northwind sample database. You can also download it from any other website. So in this web page you will find some information about the Northwind sample database, then the main objects used in this database, its ERD, and at the end you will have two files available for downloading. The first one is Northwind ddl.sql and the second one is Northwind data SQL. Actually, these two files will be used. The first one will be used to create tables and other database objects, and the second file will be used to load data into the database. So we will have some sample data incorporated after executing this SQL file. So download this file, just click it. Your browser may open it or may download it directly for you. So in most of the browser this file will be opened. So here we have the code for creation of tables in this database. So if you look into the code you will find lots of create table statements. So this one is going to create a table named as category, then customer demographics table will be created here. Similarly we will have customers table, customer demo table, and there are many other tables in this database which will be created by using this file. So what you need to copy this code, Control A, and then copy it, open a notepad, paste it here, file, save, name it as Northwind ddl.sql. it must be SQL. Okay, so make sure that extension is .sql, not .txt. Now select the place where you want it to be and save it. So this file has been saved. Similarly you can save this second file, and here in this file we have insert statements for different tables and values. So here if you look into these statements, we are going to insert some values into categories table. Similarly we have many other insert statements for some tables in this database. Control A, select all these and copy, and then open a notepad, paste, file, save, select the location and name it as Northwind data.sql. Save it. So now here we have two files present in this folder. We downloaded or saved these two files in our folder. We will use these two files in our MySQL Workbench to create the database, and then to create the database with the help of DDL, and then to insert data into the created database tables. In our workbench, we have some databases already present. These are Sakela, Student, Says, and Word. So now we are going to create a new database from existing SQL script, and that would be Northwind, and then we will insert some data into the created tables in a new database. So for that purpose, we will need to execute two SQL script files. So first, click File and then Open SQL script. So here, browse to the file and open it. So the file which we saved was Northwind DDL. This was for data definition language. It has actually select queries, and this file will create different tables and also the database in our workbench. So I'm going to execute this file, select all the statements and execute it from here. You can also execute it from here. So this script has been executed. Now refresh the list of databases. You will find Northwind database present in the list. Just look into the tables. We have a list of tables present in this database. Now we are going to check the contents in, let's say, customers table. So file, new query tab, and here I need to execute a select statement. Select static from the table name is customers. So here, and execute it. We got the result for this table. There is no values present in this table, so we can assume that all these tables are empty. We can also check another table. Let's check this implies. So select static from implies, control enter, execute it. This one is also empty. Now we need to import the data. Simply execute the file which has the insert queries for this database. So here, file and open SQL script. So we will actually execute that script stored in Northwind data file. Open. So here we have the code for insertion of data into different tables. So I'm going to execute it, Control A, and then execute. It's taking time. So the values have been inserted in this Northwind database tables. Now we can execute this select query again to check the contents of implies table. So control enter. Now it has some records stored. We can also check another table. So here select static from customers, control enter. It has also the names of customers and their details present in the list. We can also check other tables. Let's say I'm going to check orders. So select static from orders and control enter to execute it. Spelling is not correct. Orders, control enter. And here we get the list of orders stored in the orders table. So what we did, we used two scripts, or simply you can say that you used two files to create the database and then to insert the data into the created database. So this is our Northwind sample database, and it has some tables, and all these tables are about some records, particularly focusing the import and export of Northwind traders. So this is the list of queries to be practiced in our lab. Actually, you must practice all these queries by yourselves, and do give me the feedback of your work in the comments. Anyhow, I will also show you some queries from the list, and the rest will be performed by yourselves. So the first one is write a query to get product name and quantity unit. Actually, in all these queries, you will use the product table inside the database. So we are going to select the name of the products and their quantity per unit. So these all are in the products table in our Northwind database. You can look into the columns of this products table. We have product name, we will select this thing, and also quantity per unit. So for that purpose, we must type select. I must not type static. Static means all the attributes. We need only the product name and quantity per unit. So I must type product name and quantity per unit. Table name is products. So our query is select product name and quantity per unit from products. Execute it by pressing Ctrl Enter. So here we get the list having product names and their quantities per unit, and all these are selected from the products table in our database. This was the answer for our first query. Now in the second query, we have write a query to get current product list, and that is the product ID and name. So it's quite simple. We need product name and product ID from this table. So if you look into this table, we have ID and product name. So we must type here ID comma product name, no need of quantity. So this query will give us the result according to our question. Control Enter. So here we get IDs and product names from the products table. Third query is about the discontinued product list. Just execute select static from products to get all the records in this table for all the attributes. So here in this table we have an attribute named as discontinued. Its type is tiny int, its size is 1, means that if the value is 0, then it would not be discontinued, and in case if we put 1 here, then it would be considered as discontinued. So if you need the list of discontinued products, so for that purpose we must type the where clause. Simply type here discontinued equals to 1. So this will give us all the discontinued products and the information of all the products. So there is no discontinued product in the query. Actually, we have required the product ID and name only. So for this purpose, we must type the ID and product name instead of static. So here we have ID and product name, and there is no discontinued product in the list. Similarly, do practice all these queries by yourselves, and if you have any question, you can ask me through comments in the KCMS, and also if you have any feedback, then you must share that with me through KCMS comments. Thank you.